Hey, this is John Hansen with Marcus Guerrero from Old School Labs. We are at the first Pittsburgh Pro Championship. This is the very first one they've ever had, Marcus. And we had a great lineup as expected.
Yes.
We had Nick Walker, Derek Lunsford, and Martin Fitzwater. And everybody's expecting these guys to be the top three, and they were the top three. So what was your initial impression of these top three guys?
So initially, right off the bat, Nick, I was very excited to see Nick. I can't lie. I was excited. We had Mama Walker there doing her thing, Papa. I love that. We were right behind them. So that was awesome to see. I was pleasantly surprised. I know we've talked about it a lot on the Muscle Maturity podcast as far as, will he come in? We saw him last year at the New York Pro. He looked good. Martin was right there. I think Nick is showing his, he's showing his true colors at this point. I mean, he showed us exactly what he came for. It was not a joke. He did his thing. I thought he looked incredible. Clearly, I think there's a top two.
Okay. So you think Nick's going to be in top two?
Yeah,
with Derek?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I think it's going to come down to the night show tonight. And I honestly, I'm proud of Martin Fitzwater, proud of William Bonac. That was a standout for me. Mm-hmm. But I do think it's Nick and Derek. Yeah.
Yeah, I was very impressed with Derek. I didn't know if he'd be able to peak after he peaked for the Arnold, coming in that kind of condition.
Yeah, true.
And then he was competing again only a couple months later. But, man, did he bring it. I think he was even thicker than he was at the Arnold. When the Arnold, I thought he was, really conditioned, that he had that polish. And that's what I thought looked so great about his condition at the Arnold. I think that was the best Derek we ever saw at the Arnold. I think this is an improved version of that.
Yeah.
I think he's fuller. I think he's thicker. And he's got that hardness, too. So, very, very impressed with Derek. I think he's going to win the show.
So you think he looked better than the Arnold?
Yes, I think he did, yeah.
I'm not going to lie. He had that detail on his leg. And I think that's a standard that set him on that upper echelon when it came to the Arnold. I think that's why he took the title as far as, from the Olympia, Mr. Olympia Samson Dauda. He looked good, and I think he brought that today.
Yeah. Yeah, what was impressive to me with Derek was the fullness in his chest, especially. Yeah. At the Arnold, he was very conditioned, but he looked not flat. He wasn't flat because I think he was perfectly peaked at the Arnold. But he just he didn't have that overwhelming fullness, and I think he had that here. So, man, whatever him and his coach Chris Aceto did, they really did it right because he was able to bring that condition again and come in with the fullness. So, really great job on Derek Lunsford.
I think it goes just to say that the name, the technician.
Yeah.
Chris Aceto, shout out. I mean, a lot of time we see the coaches, they don't get the credit that they deserve. I mean, we've even had people bash the need for coaches as of late, which I understand somebody like you who's been in the game for years after years, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But it definitely, as you know, it helps to get that extra set of eyes. And when you got someone like Chris, a technician, truly to the word, a technician, we see it. We saw the cross striations in the chest.
Yeah.
We're not used to seeing that from Derek Lunsford, and we saw that today. We can literally see in those, those side shots, the striations coming from that back chest. So that was impressive.
Yeah, and his back, of course, incredible. The best back in bodybuilding.
We talked about it with Samir. And our last Muscle Maturity podcast, shout out to Samir Banut, the Muscle Maturity podcast. Nick Walker's back. That was the talk of the town. Nick Walker versus Derek Lunsford in that back shot. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about it? I had to beat you to the punch.
I think Derek's got it, man. Derek's got the best back. Because Derek's also got the glutes are completely striated.
Yeah.
Completely from top to bottom. So you can't beat that.
The arms of Nick. The way to shot. There's something about the upper part for Nick Walker when it comes to those the back double that is so just appealing to me personally. But I feel like once you look at the total picture, I kind of lean towards your side a little bit when it comes to Derek Lunsford because the glutes peeled, shredded to the bone. I mean, you see everything.
Yeah,
you can't deny it. I'm on Nick. I like Nick, man. I like the back shot. I like both of them. I think there's a reason they are the top two right now. Yeah,
Nick really brought it. I mean, he had a lot to prove. He dropped out of the Olympia last year. He won the New York Pro last year, beat Martin Fitzwater by 1 point. So it was very close. A lot of people had Martin winning that show. And then when they got to the Olympia, Martin got a very strong fourth place, and Nick didn't even show up, and he missed 2 Olympias in a row. The other one was because of a hamstring injury a year before. So he had a lot to prove, and he brought it. He really brought it. He came in big and thick like he always does, the mutant, and he came in really hard condition. So congratulations to Nick. I mean, I thought he was really very impressive. Now, what'd you think of Martin Fitzwater? Because there was a big, we had the rivalry between Nick and Martin Fitzwater from last year. So
honestly, when it comes to Martin, once again, this is somebody who is young. He is a young cat on the rise. look where he's at. Easily a top 3 at one of the most. I mean, this is becoming a prestigious show. At this point, this would be number 3, if you ask me. I mean, it might be that New York Pro. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, especially with the men's open now. Martin looked incredible. I think he brought a very similar package that we've seen from Martin Fitzwater. He looked good. I think the thing about Martin that I love is once he actually starts to pose, it's like a flower. It blossoms. Something happens. It's the butterfly effect. Something comes out. We see the cross striation, the feathering, the quads. The back shots. That's one of the most impressive things for me when it comes to Martin. I love his lat spread from the back. Man. That back lat spread is so impressive to me. It was one of my favorite on stage. Obviously, Derek, it's kind of, he's up there. But there is a lot to be said about Martin Fitzwater.
Yeah, I thought he was in great condition. I think he said he was 8 pounds heavier than he was from the Olympia. And he was in great condition. Of course, he's got that great symmetry, which is a strong point.
Yeah.
He's got great balance from head to, from the top to the bottom. But I just didn't feel like he shined as much as Derek and Nick did today. Derek, I think, really brought it. He had that outstanding condition. Maybe it's not lack, but maybe he just doesn't still have the thickness that Nick does. And I think that's where Nick beat him, was the thickness.
Yeah.
And I think Martin said before this contest that Nick's not going to beat me. But I think Nick's got him this time. I mean, it looks to me like Martin's going to be a solid third, great condition.
Yeah.
Just didn't have enough to beat those top 2.
I mean, it's interesting because, I think we had a very confident Martin Fitzwater, and we love that. That's the one thing that I think we can all attest. We love that about Nick Walker, the confidence. It's there. Yeah. When you have a team, when you're a unit in yourself, that confidence comes with it. I think we see that on stage. We see the difference. We see somebody like a William Bonac, who I think in due time, over time, when you're here, when you've been at the stage set, you've done this before time and time again, that confidence, that poise is there.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing that build in Martin. I think Nick has it. So I get it. It was a very close race. Arguably, some people had at New York Pro Martin Fitzwater beating Nick Walker. I personally did not. I thought Nick Walker deserved it. I mean, it was at the end, it was a 2-point show when it comes to the 1 point.
Yeah.
So it's very close with them as well. I think it's the fact that we have 2 people in Derek and Nick who are just bringing that next level.
Yeah.
You got the size, you got the density. Martin's right there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not far off at all. Like I said, we can have New York Pro next week. I hope, hey.
Yeah.
Let's see this again. Let's run it back.
Well, it goes to show you how impressive Nick really was. Because if Martin put on 8 pounds and he was a strong 4th place last year at the Olympia, some people had him ahead of Derek last year at the Olympia. So
I did.
If he could have been, 8 pounds heavier and he was in condition, and Nick still really just outmassed him.
Yeah.
That's just good. But I think, if you look at the weights, Nick's probably about 15 pounds heavier. And I thought with Martin's symmetry and just his great condition, he was in great condition. It just didn't come through as much as as much as Nick and Derek did.
I agree. So for me, I am one of the people who I felt like they gave Derek the edge over Martin when it came to the Olympia. I really thought that we could have saw Martin get 3rd place, Mr. Olympia Derek go down to 4th. I was one of those people, and today it wasn't the same show by any means. I think that to go exactly with what you're saying, I mean, Nick brought the size. Martin brought it too. I mean, Nick has that already. It's one of his biggest feats for him. I will say this. Martin going from 234 at the last show to 242, easily 244 on stage, that's impressive.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing somebody on the rise at this point. Give it a year or two, we might be having a whole different show.
Yeah, I mean, at the Olympia, he might bring a whole different package. I just think this time, I think he just got a little outmassed by Nick Walker, and I think he's going to be a solid 3rd.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the other guys that they brought up in that first call-out. So you had Michael Krizo. So everybody's expecting big things from him after all those gym pictures, because he's got the freakiest gym pictures.
It's crazy.
Incredible arms and shoulders. Looks like incredible conditioning. However, when it comes to the stage, it's a different show. And he really didn't have the stage presence a couple of years ago. And he just, he's got a kind of a longer torso.
Yeah.
What'd you think of Krizo this time?
Krizo looked good. I think you hit it on the head, the stage presence.
Yeah.
I think it's why we see our top 4, who is our solidified top 4, and why he's could be 5th, could be 6th, honestly, you know? So I think there's something to be said about getting in there, getting the posing done. I mean, we hear Samir talk about it all the time. the posing is so important. That staging presence, it makes a difference. The last person who's posing on stage, hit that most muscular a little bit longer, taking the extra step ahead, it makes a difference. I think we all feel it. We felt the energy in the crowd today. We felt it with Nick. We felt it with Derek. We did not feel that same energy with Krizo.
Yeah.
The stage presence just wasn't there compared to these other guys.
Yeah, I hate to say he has a gym body, but, right now he kind of does have a gym body. I mean, he's got those incredible...
Crazy to say.
You see the pictures of him, and he looks like Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
But when he gets up there, it's not the same impact. He still has the big arms, obviously.
Yeah.
He is better than he was a couple years ago when he first came over to the IFBB. He just didn't have the symmetry. He didn't know how to pose. He was really lacking in stage presence, and you could see it really shine through. So he is getting better, and I think with more contest experience, he'll get better. He was in good condition. He's just not there yet.
He looked good. I mean, I think he looked good. Do you think he's getting better? Do you think if you can compare him from a year, do you think there's,
Yeah, I think so. I think his condition was better this time. He's got that long torso, shorter legs, so he's always going to have a problem with, like, when he comes out and he does that front double by, his arms are incredible, but he doesn't wow the crowd like a Derek does,
Yeah.
Or even Nick.
There's a difference.
And so he doesn't have that sweep. He's got some things in his body he still needs to work on. He still needs to be a little bit more refined, and definitely still needs help with the stage presence. He's not there yet, but he is getting better. He just doesn't project. Lee Haney used to use this term, project. When you're up there, do you project to the audience? He doesn't project to the audience, so he just doesn't have that. But let's talk about William Bonac. William Bonac won the Detroit Pro a couple months ago. Incredible condition this guy is in. He's in his 40s.
Yeah.
It looked like his career was done, and now this year he's coming back. He was better than the Arnold. He was better than the Olympia, and he looked great at the Detroit Pro. So now here he is in really good condition. I had him at 4th.
Couldn't agree more with you.
Yeah.
When he started in the middle, that little bias in me that we all love, I was like, I want to keep him there. I want to see him stay at that middle. But the fact that he is a top 4 this many years in the game, he's still going as strong as he is. I mean, come on. Like, especially coming from old school labs, you got to love that. Yeah. You got to love somebody who easily could have been, we counted them out. So many people counted out William Bonac. The conqueror came and he conquered. I mean, the fact that he is still at this point, 40? I think he's happy early birthday to William Bonac. I think his birthday is this week or next weekend.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think he's turning 43 or 44. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something we don't see every day, to literally have it be to where you could probably be contemplating, 2022, contemplating, taking a step back, being with his family, which is great. We need that. But to come back like this, as you said, at the Detroit Pro, we've seen this just improved, very improved version of William. We saw glimpses of it in 2019, 2020, some of the Arnolds with his battle with Brandon Curry.
Yeah.
Arguably, I had Bonac up there. I could have seen Bonac winning that show. So to see him come back, at this point, 4 or 5 years later?
Yeah.
5 years later, and to still be at the top of the game, I mean, I salute and tip my hat to William Bonac. I'm always a fan at this point.
Seems like a great guy, too, so I'm glad for him. And, his strong point is his density, his thickness and his density, and I think he was coming in flat with some different dietary practices at the Olympia and even the Arnold, so he's got that down now. He knows what he's got to do. He nailed his condition in Detroit, so he knows what he needs to do to come in great condition. And this show was just like fun for him. He's already qualified for the Olympia. He didn't need to do it. He just came in just to see how he would stack up and did fantastic, man. I think he's right outside that top 3.
Yeah, I mean, I saw his interview with J.M. Mannion, and that's what he said. It's like, I think one of the comments was like, it's dumb for them to keep doing this, which that just shows some of the people of today's world, the fans, are not privy to what it's like to be, a 90s bodybuilder. These people who went on tours, who sat there and competed time after time, and that's what William's proving. And as you said, you alluded to it, there's no sweat on my back at this point. I already got my Olympia ticket.
Yeah.
I got my Willie's, I'm there. The Willie Wants Good Golden ticket is in my pocket. There's no issues at this point. Can you imagine the amount of just stress, the alleviation that's off your back at that point?
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine just how fun he's having at this point, especially at this point in his career, proving just against all the odds.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that just solidifies who he is as a human being. This guy's been through so much, and to see him at this level still performing the way we are, top 4, arguably could be even fighting for top 3. I mean, come on, there's still the night show tonight. William can still push through, Obviously, he has to get through the Force and the Martian, but, to be top 4 at this level, it's incredible.
Yeah. All right, well, we're going to wrap it up here from the prejudging at the Pittsburgh Pro, the very first ever Pittsburgh Pro. out here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're at the Old School Labs, and this is the end of the prejudging. We'll be back for the night show tonight to give you guys a wrap-up of that. Right now it's looking like Derek and Nick and Martin is in the top 3, and I'm predicting Derek. You're predicting
Nick. I got Nick. I'm with Mama Walker at this point. I'm Team Nick. I'm just saying it I'm saying it. I am Team Nick. I think he came ready. He looks ready, and I'm on that. I'm on the hype train. You heard it in the crowd. The crowd was Team Nick too.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm a believer, man. I'm one of those people. I'll fall for it. I can go for the okie doke. I'm that guy. So I'm with it. It's Mother's Day weekend. Shout out to Nick Walker's mom. I mean, I love that. That's one of the things I loved is seeing just that. It's so beautiful, man.
Yeah,
that's just stuff that makes me. Yeah, it makes
100%,
man. That's what it's all about. Supporting. That's what we're here doing. It makes me feel like a kid again. When I see something like that, I instantly want to go call my mom on Mother's Day. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's so cool to see all of this. I mean, I hope you guys come out. The Pittsburgh Pro, this is awesome. I hope you guys make it next week or next year because this was just, it was beautiful to see. Yeah. It was a great show.
All right, guys, we'll wrap it up there, and we'll be back tonight for the finals of the Pittsburgh Pro. We'll be here with you then, give you the results. For Old School Labs, Marcus Guerrero, John Hansen, we're out.
Keep it old school.